What is up, guys? It is Will Sports, and today I'm going to be covering the Memphis Grizzlies as they are off to an 0-4 start without their star point guard, Ja Morant. It has been a rough go early in the season. We knew that losing Ja Morant for the first 25 games of the season was going to be tough for Memphis, but in the past few years, they had shown the ability to be able to win without Ja. They had been winning at a very high pace without Ja over the past few years. Now last season they were only 11-10 without him, but they were still, over 500. And you'll take that when your star player is out. If you can go, 11-10 in 21 games that your best player misses, I think you'll take that because when he gets back that you should be a better team and you should be able to make up that margin that you didn't have when he wasn't there. Well, this season, this team looks very inept offensively. They lack a lot of shooting. They lack a lot of firepower. They don't have a lot of guys that can put the ball on the floor and really go get a bucket consistently. And it's really hurting them. This is a team that's lost a lot of very good rotation players over the past years. Tyus Jones, DeAnthony Melton, Dylan Brooks, just a few names to name. And now, you're a team that brought in Marcus Smart. That was your main big addition of the summer. He's obviously a good piece for this team, but he wasn't really the biggest need for this team. I think the biggest need for the Grizzlies has always been a wing that can create on the outside, shot creating wing. And they just have not really been able to address it. Ja is a great player, top 15, top 20 in the league for sure. And he's gonna get his, but you need somebody who can consistently, play at that same elite level. Desmond Bane has grown a lot. Jaren Jackson is a great defensive player. And his offense is getting better year by year. But those guys are at best like third and fourth options in my opinion on championship teams. Desmond Bane right now is playing very good, though. He's averaging 25 a game. He has stepped his game up. But if they're going to win without Ja, they need him to average close to 30. And I don't know if he's capable of that. He has had 2 30-point games so far this season, but I don't know if he's capable of that. But they're going to need some of these guys to step up. And the problem is that they're not as deep as they've been in past years. And these guys aren't built to be in those high-scoring type of basketball games. You're relying on guys like John Conchar, Zaire Williams, Xavier Tillman. These are guys that are mostly there to be good defenders and be athletic, guys with some length and that can, cause havoc defensively. But you're asking these guys to have a bigger role offensively, do more offensively. It's gonna be tough for this team. And you like I said, Marcus Smart, he's always been an up and down offensive player. He's inconsistent. He has games where he can be really good and make some tough shots, and he has some other games where he'll shoot you out of games because he's not being smart with his shot selection, and he's just guns blazing. So this is a Grizzlies team that just isn't built to outscore teams right now without Ja. You look at this team, I mean, if they don't get Ja back, I don't know how bad it's going to get, but I'm really afraid that it's going to get bad for them because this is a team before the season I thought could win 50 games. And it's just because I've seen what Memphis has done the past few years when Ja's been out. So I had a feeling that Taylor Jenkins is a great coach. They lack some areas in personnel. They're weak in some areas, but I think Taylor Jenkins is a great coach. He'll be able to make up for it. I've seen Desmond Bane continue to grow his game as an offensive player. And I thought at least defensively, they'd be able to be in low-scoring games that would, suit them well enough to be able to stay competitive and win a few games. Now, I didn't think that we're going to have a great record without Ja, but I thought they could at least be around 500. And maybe they still can. I think when you win one basketball game, that can get this team's confidence where it needs to be. So winning one basketball game could really help this team. And they play the Jazz and then they play the Blazers 2 times after this game. So, they could get back on track just with one win. But they got to get a win soon. But this, like I said, this offense is just not good enough. Like I said, there's just not a lot of guys that can break you down off the dribble and really go get a shot and make shots at an efficient high level. And also defensively, they haven't been as good either. I mean, right now they're 15th in defensive rating, which is like the midway point of the league. So they're an average defense combined with a bad offense. That's not going to win you a lot of games. So if you're going to be a bad offense, you got to be at least an elite level defense, and they haven't been that either so far this year. Now they face a tough schedule. They face, Jokic in the Nuggets. They face Luke in the Mavs today. They face Zion and the Pelicans with Brandon Ingram healthy. So they faced a fairly tough schedule so far. They did have the Wizards. That was a game that I was pretty surprised they lost. That was not a good sign at all. But it is a Memphis team that, the schedule's been tough. So I don't want to sit here and act like they've lost to bottom feeders consistently. But at the end of the day, the offense is just not cutting it right now. And you need some type of shooting, and you need some type of shot creation. I don't know who they can put in, because when I look at this bench, there's just not many guys that could come in and really do that. Your best three-point shooters have been, David Roddy, D Rose, Jaren Jackson. But those guys aren't shooting at a very high volume. So it's like you don't have a lot of high volume shot creation on this team, and it's really concerning. But even when Ja gets back, I just still don't think that that's going to create too much more for this team. I think this team's still going to struggle offensively. Ja's going to get his, and he's going to have nights where he wins games alone because he's so special offensively and he's great at attacking the basket. But I think teams are going to pack the paint. I think teams are going to dare this team to make shots from the outside and really try to take Ja out of basketball games and make someone else beat them. And I just don't know if Memphis has it enough consistently. It's really going to come down to if this team can at least become a top 10 type of defense. Can they maybe become a top 20 offense at least? I mean, you're not like great or anything, but you're not bottom of the barrel offensively like they are right now, because right now they're 26th in offensive rating. So I want to see this team, gel some more. I don't want to overreact and say that their season's over, because there's been plenty of teams in the past in NBA that have had really rough starts to the season, 0-4 starts. I remember, the Thunder a few years back when they had Russ and Paul George. They started 0-4 and they ended up finishing the season 49-33. And had a good season. Last year the Kings started 0-4 and then they finished with a top 3 seed in the West. So I don't want to panic completely yet, but I think this team is gonna have to make a move. And I think as far as Taylor Jenkins, I think the best bet is to put as the best shooting lineups you can. They're starting Zaire Williams right now. I would probably try to start someone like David Roddy, or John Conchar, just one of those guys, maybe to add some extra spacing, some more shot creation. Maybe that would help this team a little more. But right now, this team is just not working. And like I said, they've lost a lot of depth over the past few years. They've lost several guys that were key contributors and were big parts of why the Grizzlies were able to sustain not having Ja at times, But this year, it's just a different team, and they're gonna need Ja's offensive punch back, and they don't get him till like mid-December. So I'm very concerned for this team, and if they can muster up the ability offensively to be able to put up enough points to win games. But Taylor Jenkins, like I said, is a great coach, and then Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson are both playing really good. So I don't want to put this as a slight to them. I just don't think they're good enough players to lead you to, where you want to be. If those are your two best players, you're probably a lottery team. But I'm holding out hope that they can at least, get themselves to a point where they're just under 500, and then Ja comes back and they can make a late push. Because with Ja in the lineup, this team can still win games. They're not going to win as high of a pace as they have over the past few years, but they're still a team that can maybe avoid the play-in. I would say I don't see this team finishing with a top 4 seed though this season. I just think they're gonna struggle too much offensively, but we'll see. How do you guys feel about the Memphis Grizzlies? This has been a team that's been very successful over the past few years, and we felt like they're a young and upcoming team, but it feels like right now they're at a stall point. Do you think they should maybe try to just tank the season and try to get a top 10 pick? I do think it's a little early, but I've heard some people float that idea, a top 10 pick to maybe add another piece that they desperately need. Or do you think, they should still keep trying to win as much as they can, and when Ja gets back, they can maybe make a push? How do y'all feel about the Grizzlies? How do you feel about the outlook? Let me know down below. And yeah, that's all I have to say. It's been Will Sports. Peace.